The world-breaking clash between history's strongest being and the strongest sorcerer of the modern era just got even crazier. Satoru Goatjo is this close to proving that he is the strongest ever, and that even Sukuna must fall under the power of unlimited void. But Sukuna has a devious trick up his sleeve. Both men are going all out, both are feeling the effects of this superhuman struggle on their body, but only one can come out on top. The fate of Japan and the entire world hangs in the balance, so let's get into it. If you guys enjoy my videos and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like and comment right now. It only takes you a second, but it helps me with that YouTube algorithm. And if you are one of the over 50% of people who watch my videos but haven't taken the time to subscribe, do me a huge favor and make this the video that you subscribe. We are trying to hit 2 million subscribers. That would be insane. Let's do it. Finally, this video will contain Jujutsu Kaisen manga spoilers, so please proceed with caution. You have been warned. Now, the previous chapter was awesome, but it ended on an ominous note. The great Satoru Goatjo had a slight nosebleed. Okay, yeah, I know. In any other anime with any other character, this would not be a big deal at all. But with Gojo, this has real significance. The nosebleed is an indication that, despite being unbelievably strong, this epic fight against Sukuna is taking a very real toll on his body. After a grueling battle that required Gojo to activate multiple domain expansions one after the other, to use reverse curse technique to heal both his body and his curse technique burnout, and to take a whole bunch of damage from the incredibly overpowered Sukuna, Gojo is feeling the pain. At the beginning of the latest chapter, Yuta immediately notices and acknowledges the nosebleed, which tells us that this is an important detail. The mangaka clearly wants us to pay attention to this. But this doesn't mean that Gojo is about to give up and be defeated. It just means that he's human, and the mangaka wants to remind us that despite his incomprehensible strength and confidence, Gojo isn't unbeatable. His victory in this battle is not inevitable, even though all of us Gojo fanboys want to believe that it is. For now, Gojo is still smiling and having a great time in this fight, and he quickly wipes the blood from his nose as both he and Sukuna expand their domains yet again at the same time. This confirms that Sukuna can restore his burnt out curse technique with reverse curse technique, just like Gojo was able to do. We're not sure if Sukuna was able to do this all along, or if he literally just learned how to do it after seeing Gojo do it once. But neither scenario would be a surprise. Sukuna definitely has a bunch of tricks up his sleeve that he's been cooking up for 1,000 years, but he is also able to learn and adapt extremely quickly. So he absolutely could have just learned how to restore his burnt out curse technique on the spot. Now, in chapter 227, Yuta said that this very concept of using reverse curse technique to heal your burnt out curse technique doesn't make sense. Because essentially, burning out a curse technique with a domain is completely different from taking physical damage. If a machine overheats but it isn't physically broken, it still needs time to cool down before it can function properly. Even if a mechanic can restore a broken part immediately, he can't magically cool an engine down in an instant. And yet, Gojo was able to do the cursed technique equivalent of that. But we probably shouldn't dwell too much on what makes sense from a physics perspective, because not only is this a fantasy world, but Gojo and Sukuna have attained superhuman and borderline godly levels of power. So they don't play by the same rules as everyone else. That is why everyone watching the fight is completely shocked at the extent of their power. Kusakabe then explains that within the 3 minutes that it takes for Sukuna to destroy Gojo's domain from the outside, Gojo needs to damage Sukuna to the point where he can no longer maintain his domain. And as he says this, Kusakabe seems to be sweating a little bit, as if he's doubting whether Gojo can actually pull it off. This leads our girl Shoko to say that they shouldn't be talking as if Gojo is on the ropes. All Gojo needs to do is draw Sukuna into unlimited void for just a few seconds and Sukuna will be incapacitated. If Gojo can somehow destroy Malevolent Shrine within 3 minutes, even once, he will win this. And then the next panel we see is an absolutely ecstatic Gojo preparing to pounce on Sukuna. And you can just tell on Gojo's face that he is loving this. To be fair, Sukuna is loving this as well. Both of these guys are fighting to the death right now. Both of them hate each other and they want to take each other out, but they still have a huge amount of respect for each other and for this fight. Both of them are known to be the absolutely strongest beings of their respective eras. So much so that no one could ever pose a serious challenge to them. No one could ever give them such an exciting and challenging fight before today. As serious as this showdown is for both sides, and as massive of an impact as the ultimate outcome of this battle is going to have on Japan and the entire world, these guys are still having a blast testing each other's strength and endurance. For the first time in their lives, they are both able to go all out against a truly worthy opponent, and they love it. They engage in intense hand-to-hand combat, showcasing their phenomenal martial arts skills, and Gojo especially looks like he's on a mission. With every attack, he is pushing Sukuna closer and closer to Malevolent Shrine, the actual physical shrine that appears within Sukuna's domain. And eventually, Gojo throws Sukuna into the shrine itself. It was already established earlier that the shrine within Sukuna's domain seems to be the heart of the domain rather than Sukuna himself. This is highly unusual because every other domain is centered on the user and all things that appear within the domain are merely symbolic. But Gojo can sense that with Sukuna things are different. That shrine is important. Sukuna tries to push back, but Gojo stays on him and he tries to inflict even more damage to Sukuna's chest and abdomen area where he was already injured before. However, Sukuna protects that area with his hands. The shrine is being literally torn apart in the ensuing struggle, but both men are still going all out and still smiling throughout it all. Then, suddenly, both of their domains are dissolved yet again, and once again they are dissolved at the exact same time. Everyone is absolutely stunned by how strong and how evenly matched these two legendary fighters are. Luckily for us, everyone else is also watching the fight right along with us, so we get some valuable commentary from the other sorcerers. Miwa says that when it comes to fighting within the domain, Gojo is stronger, and Yuji watches the fight intensely as it dawns on him that yes, Gojo can win. As if to emphasize that very point, Gojo punches Sukuna into a concrete pillar, and then the two of them proceed to expand their domains yet again. By my count, this is like the 5th time they are expanding their domains, by the way, and the vast majority of sorcerers can expand their domain only once a day. But Gojo and Sukuna are just built different, and they have already done it like 5 times within the span of a few minutes. But wait, even though they both appear to have activated their domains at practically the same time, Yuta believes that maybe, just maybe, Gojo might have expanded his domain an instant earlier. And Yuta is right. Gojo inflicted a lot of physical damage on Sukuna, and Sukuna decided to use reverse curse technique to heal his body before going on to restore his curse technique. This slight delay in restoring his curse technique allowed Gojo to activate Unlimited Void 0.01 seconds earlier. That's 10 milliseconds earlier. This allows Gojo to further gain the upper hand inside the domain, and 2 minutes and 40 seconds after they expanded their domains, Gojo is able to punch a hole in Sukuna's chest. This does enough damage to Sukuna for Malevolent Shrine to collapse within Gojo's domain, and this exposes Sukuna to the effects of Unlimited Void. Even though he's already inflicted serious damage on Sukuna, and even though he managed to catch Sukuna within Unlimited Void, Gojo is not done. He doesn't want to just crush Sukuna's heart, that's just the bare minimum. He wants to destroy his lungs and liver and bring him closer to death than Yuji was at the detention center. Although, I do wonder how far Gojo is willing to go. Of course, he has to take this fight seriously and make sure that Sukuna is injured enough that he won't just be able to easily heal himself. But at the same time, if Gojo goes too far, he might kill Megumi. As cool and calm as Gojo is trying to be about all of this, we know that he definitely doesn't want to kill Megumi. However, before Gojo can land the finishing blow on Sukuna, something massive suddenly appears before him. It is none other than 8-handled sword Divergent Scylla Divine General Maharaga, the most powerful shikigami from Megumi's 10 Shadows technique. Maharaga is known for being uncontrollable, and throughout history, no user of the 10 Shadows technique has ever been able to tame it. But Maharaga impressed Sukuna with its power during their battle back in Shibuya, and so Sukuna has clearly decided to use Maharaga in his fight against Gojo. Gojo is clearly surprised by the shikigami's appearance, but at first he believes that he can take it out in one shot. After all, even though Maharaga is known for its incredible adaptability, it hasn't had time to adapt to Unlimited Void, so it must be vulnerable to Gojo's attack. Nevertheless, before Gojo can launch his cursed technique reversal, Maharaga moves and smashes the ground beneath Gojo, forcing him to jump out of the way. Gojo is stunned to see that Maharaga has somehow already adapted to Unlimited Void, and as the shikigami produces a wry grin on its grotesque face, the chapter comes to an end. Bro, this was amazing! Gojo just demonstrated godly cursed powers and superhuman perseverance, and he managed to get the better of Sukuna. The only reason why Sukuna still hasn't been destroyed is because he had to rely on Megumi's 10 Shadows technique, which in some ways means that Sukuna is admitting that he can't defeat Gojo with his own powers alone. That said though, how did Sukuna manage to summon Maharaga, and how did he adapt to Unlimited Void so quickly? After all, Maharaga does need to be summoned. He doesn't just appear out of thin air, and no one can adapt to Unlimited Void so quickly. Could it be that Sukuna is just so special that Unlimited Void affects him differently from other people? Or could it be that Sukuna is using a tried and true Megumi strategy to get one over on Gojo? We know that Megumi sometimes loves to summon a shikigami before the fight even begins, and then he waits until the best possible moment to strike and catch his opponent off guard. So, is it possible that Sukuna summoned Maharaga before the fight even began and then kept it hidden inside his shadow? This allowed Maharaga to adapt to Gojo's domain before emerging in the exact moment that Sukuna became incapacitated. Man, I can't wait to see what Gege is cooking. What do you guys think about this incredible fight so far, and who do you think wins out in the end? Will Gojo get a clean win? Will Sukuna get a clean win? Or will we get some sort of stalemate and then interference from Kenjaku or Yuji or maybe even Megumi? Definitely let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Jujutsu Kaisen content right here on the channel, leave a quick like right now. And if you watch my videos but you still haven't taken the time to subscribe, do me a big favor and subscribe right now. We are trying to hit that incredible 2 million subscribers. That would make Anime Uproar a special grade anime YouTube channel. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Anime Uproar. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.